What a brilliant day of Champions League football, everyone, man. What a brilliant day. Kind of when I was expected, to be completely honest, at least in this game between Chelsea and Real Madrid. Everything that we've come to expect from both sides came to fruition today. It's absolutely crazy. But any other game, Napoli, AC Milan, arguably one of the more interesting matches, it actually had a bit of a twisted turn to it. I thought Napoli was going to get through. Despite being 1-0 down, I thought, look, that wasn't a big enough lead heading into the reverse fixture in Naples. But fair play to AC Milan. They played really well. And they've got a top-class keeper in there as well. Magnon, keeping them in it. And in the end, Giroud got a goal. Osman pulled on back, but it was too little too late. Napoli, AC Milan 1-1. AC Milan through to maybe set up a Milan derby in the semi-final of the Champions League. Wouldn't that be a turn of events, man? We haven't seen that since maybe 2003 or something. A Milan derby in the Champions League semi-final would be absolutely crazy. But back to Chelsea, Real Madrid here, because that was a game I was watching. It was a game that many people thought the tie would be over. And if you look at the scoreline, you'd probably say, yeah, you're right, the tie is over. Real Madrid tore them to pieces, won 4-0 in aggregate. But for those of you that actually watched that game between Chelsea and Real Madrid, you will know that Chelsea really had something here for the taking. Genuinely, they could have got something from this football match. Especially in that first half. Real Madrid were leaking chances. They were. And if Chelsea had their finishing boots on, if they had something more about them, they easily could have got through this tie here. Now, I'm not saying that anyone expected Chelsea to go through. I don't think anyone did. But you look at it and you're thinking, Chelsea, man. Like, the chances fell for you, especially in that first half. And 2-0 it's not a massive mountain to climb. I mean, once it went to 1-0 and then 2-0 and then 3-4-0 in aggregate, it was a bit of a mountain to climb for Chelsea. But while they were still in the game, they should have really done more. Welcoming Jeff into the chat as always, my friend. Leao did the same as last week. One big counter-attack late in the first half. Giroud taps in this time. Oh my god, what a run from Leao. That was Leao's goal. Make no mistake about it. The way he swerved through everyone. What a counter-attacking run. And got that goal. And that's exactly the main thing you have to do. You have to have a counter-attacking threat in the Champions League. Because teams will respect you more. And Napoli, I'm sure they were going for that game. But they know they got to keep some men at the back because they will counter-attack well. And it was a battle of the left wingers. Let's be completely honest about it. That's what I was looking forward to. Kvaratskhelia versus Rafael Leao. Who's going to be the top dog at left wing? And look, Rafael Leao showed up, man. He came to Napoli's patch, came to their home turf, and completely showed them up. What a performance from Leao, especially for Napoli. Unbelievable. Real Madrid on the English tour again. Real Madrid are that good, man. Genuinely, they're that good. Like, Real Madrid, the way I'd compare them to, they're like a big brother teaching little brothers lessons. Because they gave Chelsea life here. Genuinely, in that first half, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, Kante had a massive chance. Havertz had a chance. Reece James had a few chances as well. Chelsea had chances in this game, but they got punished for it. They didn't take their chances, and then Real Madrid, in two swift moves, got the goals. And the way they got their goals as well, it was just so typical of Real Madrid. Just classy goals, walking it into the back of net, so composed in front of net. I mean, you saw Cucurella in the first half have a chance, ball lands at his feet. And if anything, he's too composed. He takes too long to shoot and then Courtois blocks it. On the flip side, you've got, in the same position, Vinicius Jr. He doesn't snatch at it. He doesn't lose composure. He doesn't panic. Just lays it on the plate for Rodrygo to sweep it home. And that was 1-0 Real Madrid. Composure. Calmness personified from Real Madrid. And exactly why they're many people's favourites to win the Champions League. They're that good, man. This is their competition. And when the chances came, they scored them. Even that second goal as well. Dani Ceballos with the fake run. It then goes through on a plate to Rodrygo. He doesn't even shoot first time. He just walks it into the back of the net. Like, it's criminal how Chelsea defend sometimes. Genuinely, it's criminal. But at the same time, you're thinking, how do you stop that? How do you stop the Real Madrid onslaught? You just got to fight back fire with fire. And unfortunately, Chelsea, we know it. They know it. Real Madrid knew it. Everyone on planet Earth knows it. Chelsea are not scoring goals right now. So when you're trying to fight fire and fire with Real Madrid, it's not going to work because they're going to outscore you every day of the week. Chelsea had some chances, but like usual, don't score. Exactly, Jeff. Exactly. They had the chances here today. They did, man. They should have put them away. But look, that's what happens. If you don't put the ball in the back of the net, you're going to get punished. And Real Madrid taught them a footballing lesson today. Can't wait for the Milan derbies. Oh my days, the Milan derby in the San Siro will be unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Inter Milan versus AC Milan. Let's be honest, I don't think anyone was expecting either team to reach a Champions League semi-final, if we're completely honest about it. But fair play to them, man. AC Milan, they're a European powerhouse. Let's not forget this. 7 Champions Leagues under their belt. 7 Champions Leagues in their cabinet. 3, I believe, for Inter Milan. Like, these clubs know how to win the Champions League. They're powerhouses in Europe. So it's going to be a hell of a time, and I cannot wait for it. That's what Leao did last week too. He's a baller, man. Rafael Leao's a baller. I wanted to wear my AC Milan shirt against it with Leao on the back, but it was in the wash, obviously, because I wore it last week. He's so good, man, Rafael Leao. Unbelievable. I'd love to see him in the Premier League. Just an absolute cookfest, that guy. He's a monster. Dribbling with the ball, close control, directness, so good, man. Anyone that's learning to be a winger, you should have watched the 2 wingers today. Kvaratskhelia and Rafael Leao, so good. If it's Manchester City, they should beat Real Madrid, but this is Real Madrid. This is my point. And this is why I said I believe Man City are going to go through to the Champions League final. And in my opinion, win the Champions League. Because I think Real Madrid is the toughest test for Man City because the mentality of Real Madrid is so good. It's genuinely so good. But they were this close from getting through last year. Like, if it wasn't for Rodrygo scoring 2 goals in stoppage time, Man City reached the final of the Champions League and potentially win it as well against Liverpool. Who knows? But Real Madrid had that little mentality to them. But make no mistake about it, if Real Madrid give Man City the chance they were giving Chelsea today, Man City could walk away with this. Genuinely, because Real Madrid were leaking at the back. They were leaky. It's just they're lucky that they came against Chelsea, who, let's be honest, are one of the worst attacking sides in Europe. I don't know how they made the Champions League quarterfinals because their attack force is not firing whatsoever. It's the most toothless attack force in the whole of Europe, in my opinion. They don't score goals, but they were giving them the chances. Like, Cucurella had one on the plate. Reece James could have got a goal. I mean, Kai Havertz up front, what was he doing really? So you're looking and you're thinking, if they give Man City those chances, Real Madrid, they might not be as fortunate as they were against Chelsea. I think Inter 3 UEFA Champions League also. Yes, exactly what I was saying. Milan 7 and Inter 3. Mudryk is in the mud. I mean, look, I feel for Mudryk because he comes on the pitch with how long left? Like 25 minutes trying to change the game. They play him at left back. He made one brilliant challenge on Vinicius Jr., but going forward he wasn't doing enough. Wasn't doing enough whatsoever. Even when he's throwing goal, just snatches at it. Absolutely snatches at it with his right foot. I mean, you're looking at Chelsea and you're thinking where the goal's going to come from. Because even this formation, like, don't get me wrong, it was kind of working because Chelsea were getting the chances. But I see the formation come out and I'm thinking, are they 2-0 up on aggregate or 2-0 down? The only attacking player is Kai Havertz. They've loaded the pitch with 5 defenders, well, 3 centre-backs, 2 wing-backs, and then a 4 midfield of Kovacic, Enzo Fernandez, Kante and Conor Gallagher. That's not exactly the most attacking midfield if I've ever seen it. The only attacking players there is Havertz. And you already know my feeling on Havertz. He's not exactly a prolific goal scorer in my books whatsoever. So I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, where the goal's going to come from for Chelsea? Because I don't see who's getting them. And the chances came, to be fair, but no clinicality whatsoever, no composure, no confidence. They looked like a team that was void of goals. And look, Real Madrid sat there, and it was kind of like they were playing with them, to be honest. They sat there thinking, come on, then attack us, attack us, attack us. Gave them the first half, gave them 5 minutes in the second half, and then they thought, all right, I've had enough now. Let's go and finish this game. And that's when Rodrygo got his 2 goals, and the tie was over. But really toothless from Chelsea, man. Like, they really looked a class below Real Madrid here. They didn't look like a team that deserved to be in the quarterfinal. That's just my opinion on it. AC Milan looking pretty good, but I'll see what I think of Inter Milan tomorrow. Well, Inter Milan are pretty much guaranteed to go through, right? They've got a 2-0 lead against Benfica, and of course they're playing this leg in the San Siro as well. So they should be alright to go through. I can't really see a comeback. But AC Milan, Inter Milan, look, as a San Siro, the derby of the Milan teams in the Champions League semi-final, anything can happen. My money would be on AC Milan, just because I think they've got better players than Inter Milan, and I think that they've got the more European powerhouse. They've got the better mentality behind them. They've already won 7 Champions Leagues. And I think Rafael Leao could be the difference in that team. But who knows, man. And Mike Maignan as well. Let's not forget the keeper. The keeper is unbelievable for AC Milan. What a good performance again today for them. So good. I can't see Benfica come back at the San Siro. Neither can I, Tommy. Neither can I. Kvitschavella sold Napoli. Can't believe Napoli's out of the Champions League. I mean, yeah, but I can't really hate too much on Kvara because the brother's a baller, man. Unbelievable footballer. Today, he wasn't at his best. Of course, Rafael Leao showed him up. But he'll be back, man. He'll be back. I'm sure of it. To be honest, João Felix and Havertz are like Chelsea's 2 top players. Potentially, I don't rate Havertz one bit. And I never have. Even when they signed him from Bayern Leverkusen, I was like, that's a lot of money for him, man. He's not a striker. He's not an attacking midfielder. What is he, really? Like, I can say he's a centre-forward, but centre-forward's a really niche position. Like, the centre-forwards I think of is like Lionel Messi. That's a prolific centre-forward in my opinion. I don't see a lot of other centre-forwards out there that are really good. You could say potentially someone like Gabriel Jesus, but I don't even see Gabriel Jesus as a centre-forward. I see him as a striker that just drops in. Like, he still goes up front, don't get me wrong, but he does play that false 9 position a little bit. I've never been a fan of Havertz whatsoever. He can't finish. He doesn't really link up play. What does he do up front? Like, for me, I think they'd be better suited playing João Felix instead of Havertz. If I was Chelsea right now, yeah, you look here and you're 2-0 down going into the second leg, right? Why are you packing up the midfield? Why? Why are you trying to make it a tight game? You should have gone for it on the front foot, in my opinion, because Real Madrid were leaking chances. Yeah, throw Sterling on from the start. Sterling's played in the Champions League for Man City. He knows all what it's about, man. Give Pulisic a run, maybe. Give Mudryk a run, etc. Play your killers, man. Why are you packing up the midfield? I don't get it. You don't need Kovacic, Enzo Fernandez and Kante in their midfield. They're getting away with each other. Should have played more attacking formation and more attacking players in lineup, in my opinion. Because if you're relying on Havertz to get the goals, you're going to be in trouble because Chelsea don't score goals anyway. So you might as well pack out the attack force so you at least get goals from somewhere. That would just be my take on it. Feel free to disagree. Let me know in the live chat if you do. No attackers, painful from a Chelsea point of view. Toothless Tigers. Exactly, Tommy. Nail on the head. Exactly what I've called Chelsea this whole season. Chelsea between the boxes are good. Genuinely, when I watch Chelsea play, between the boxes, in the middle third of the pitch, they play well. They dominate games. I mean, I'd expect them to, given the midfield they've got, Kante, Enzo Fernandez, etc. But whenever the ball goes in two boxes, the box they're trying to defend and the box they're trying to score in, they fail. They fail miserably. They're toothless up front. They don't look like scoring. There's no confidence about them. And look, it's a chicken and the egg scenario, because if you don't look like scoring, you don't score goals. And if you don't score goals, your confidence goes at the same time. So it's really become like a vicious cycle for Chelsea up front. They're not scoring and it's hindering their confidence. And the lack of confidence is affecting them not scoring. So they need to get out of a rut somehow, some way. And they will get out of a rut eventually. No team doesn't score for an extended period. They will score at some point and they will go back to scoring ways. But it's taken a hell of a long time to do so. Then at the back, I mean, the goals they conceded, it's a car crash exhibit of defending, to be completely honest. Real Madrid walked the ball in the back of net. Walked it into the back of net. I mean, I'm looking at two carbon copy chances. In the first half, Cucurella receives the ball forward and he just snatches at it. Like, he takes his time, fair enough, but then shoots straight at Courtois. Then, in the second half of Real Madrid, who've been under the cosh with Chelsea having chances, the ball falls to Vinicius Jr. in the same position as Cucurella. He doesn't snatch at it. He lays it on a plate for Rodrygo to sweep it home. 1-0 Real Madrid. Exactly, man. Exactly. That's how you play football. Real Madrid, they exhibit calmness personified, composure. That's how you win games. Chelsea is a head rush. It's blood to the head. It's nosebleeds when they go forward. Nothing really clinical about them. On the flip side, you've got Real Madrid, who've been in this position before. They know how to score, man. They're that good. At one point, Felix and Mudryk were trying to get something going, but look like they've never played together. Yeah, the chemistry is a problem for Chelsea as well. I mean, they've got so many players that... Who can blame them, man? Like, it's going to take a while to gel the amount of players they've got. Mudryk comes on the pitch, right? And for Shakhtar Donetsk, Mudryk was killing it in the Champions League. He's already played Real Madrid twice in the Champions League for Shakhtar Donetsk this season. Brother puts him on to play left back. Like, what's the point? When I see Mudryk, Sterling, and João Felix getting something, I'm thinking, okay, finally Lampard, bring on some attacking players. He takes off Cucurella. I mean, for me, take off one of the centre-backs. Do you need Chalobah, Thiago Silva, and Wesley Fofana on the pitch at once? Do you? Take off Chalobah. I think he's already on a yellow card anyway. Take off Chalobah. He was getting rinsed on that left-hand side anyway for Chelsea. And throw on Mudryk. Let Cucurella play left-back. Go for a flat back four. And let Mudryk go forward, man. That's what I would do. But no, he brings on Mudryk. Mudryk did more defensively than he did going forward. And then the one chance he had going forward, which was offside, he snatched it. Terrible finish. So that's what I'm looking at as not even a Chelsea fan, but just as a non-biased, neutral, thinking there's problems at Chelsea. Genuinely, there's problems. Like, nothing's clicking for them whatsoever. I'm pretty sure I've seen a Milan derby in UEFA Champions League semi-finals in the mid-2000s. Yeah, it happened in 2003, I believe. And the funny thing is, yeah, you lot might laugh at this. I believe Inter Milan got knocked out on away goals. They got knocked out on away goals in their own stadium. How does that make any sense? It's just football, man. Football's crazy. The year AC Milan won it in 2007. Yes, and I remember Mourinho winning the Champions League for Inter Milan as well. So, don't get me wrong. There's 10 Champions Leagues across the Milan clubs. They are Champions League powerhouses. Make no mistake about it. The San Siro, beautiful stadium. I only visited the San Siro 2 weeks ago as well. Beautiful, beautiful stadium. It's a hell of an event to host a Champions League semi-final, both legs as well. I can't wait for it. I expect that to be the tie as well. Make sure, by the way, anyone here, I see 54 people in the chat right now. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here as well. Football content. My next stream will be tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. Bayern Munich versus Man City, alongside, of course, Inter Milan versus Benfica. The Champions League streams, the Europa League streams, Premier League streams coming thick and fast this season, man. I hope you guys all appreciate the streams as well. I can see Inter winning 1-0 tomorrow and Bayern tying 1-1. This is the thing, right, with tomorrow's games, because if Bayern Munich get head of steam at the Allianz, it could be a very long day for Man City. Because I know it's 3-0 and Man City got the commanding lead, but anything can happen in the Champions League. Like, if you think it's over, it's not. It never is. Bayern Munich get one goal early in the Allianz, the fans will be on their side, they'll have the momentum, suddenly you might see Man City tweaking. Now, whether Man City have the mentality, who knows? But Man City are a brilliant team. They've got an outstanding, probably the best coach in the world right now in Pep Guardiola. But Man City have been vulnerable to lapses of concentration and throwing games away. They did it last year in the Champions League against Real Madrid. Now, make no mistake about it, Real Madrid are just that team. Like, they will make it happen against any team in the world, but they still threw it away a little bit, Man City, in that game. If they get one goal early in the match by Munich, they could make an onslaught. In the other game, I can't see Inter getting knocked out. The fact they're going back to the home place, even if Benfica get a goal, I can see the Inter Milan fans in the San Siro running behind their team. I can't see them losing that game, potentially. Omens, maybe? Potentially. Sometimes the players for Chelsea are just basically chickens without heads. Headless chickens, exactly, Luke. They're just a bunch of individuals running around the pitch. Like, genuinely, if you look on paper in that Chelsea squad, there's some really good players there. Like Conte, unbelievable player. I know he's just come back from injury. He's not exactly the best player that we saw in their 2017 title-winning side or the Leicester side, but he's still a good player. Enzo Fernandez, just one young player of the World Cup. Kovacic, he's been around the block. He's played for Real Madrid, in fact. Good player. Thiago Silva, no one doubts his credibility. But then you're looking and you're thinking, they're just a bunch of individuals. Nothing gets going. How are they not scoring goals in that team? Even the goal they scored on the weekend against Brighton, it was a fluke goal, man. It deflected into the back of the net. Like, it could have gone anywhere. Then you've seen they're not scoring against Aston Villa. They're not scoring against Liverpool. Like, they're not getting goals whatsoever, Chelsea. It's a really, really, like, you're looking and you're thinking, you're starting to worry. Like, Chelsea fans, I wonder what they think of it. If there's any Chelsea fans, let me know in the chat, please. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Because I'm looking at it right now and thinking, where are the goals coming from for that football club? Because they spent all the money, but they've failed to address the striking position, arguably the most important position on the pitch. And their best signing, arguably in João Felix, is not even a permanent signing. So if they want to bring him back, they're going to need to fork out probably about 60, 70 million in the summer anyway to bring him back permanently. It's absolutely crazy, man. 65 Luke says, I think that was the number of streamers, number of views in the stream right now at the time. It's 58 right now. Keep the numbers coming. Make sure you subscribe and like if you're new around here for football related content. Let me know your thoughts in live chat. I'd love to hear it. Lampard's record not good. Of course not, man. He's a championship manager. Let's be real about it. Commentary said that it's the first time they've lost 4 in a row in 20 years. Look, Chelsea Football Club have become a powerhouse under Abramovich. Before Abramovich, they were still a decent side, but they were nowhere near, let's be real, the side at where they're at right now. Chelsea were an okay side before Abramovich came. Under Abramovich, he turned that team into killers. They had an assassin mentality, especially in Europe. Like, Chelsea were feared in Europe. Now, no one fears Chelsea in Europe. They're not that team in Europe anymore. Let's be real about it. Can they turn it around? Of course. And I believe Chelsea, if they employ the right manager in Luis Enrique, they can turn it around. But when you have Potter, when you have Frank Lampard, the players aren't going to trust that manager. Look, they come into training, they say, look, I want you boys to do this. They look at him and you think, what's your biggest achievement? Like, where's your credibility? It's like me teaching A-level maths and my biggest qualification is GCSE in maths. It doesn't work. You need Luis Enrique to step through the doors and go on that training pitch and go, look, João Felix, look, Raheem Sterling, look, Kovacic, look, Reece James, etc. This is my CV, this is my resume. I'm Luis Enrique. I've won La Liga. I've won Champions League. You listen to me. I'll bring these trophies to Chelsea. I'll bring the Premier League. I'll bring the Champions League. I'll restore this club to the greatness it had under Abramovich. But you got to listen to me. That's the type of manager they need in the door for Chelsea. That's the type of manager that is calling for. A manager that can manage egos, can manage personalities, can deal with the pressure, can deal with playing multiple competitions and juggling all that at once. Not a manager that's had his first big break in football. You're not a work experience club. You're not a club giving out internships. You are Chelsea Football Club. You should be bringing in the top managers. I hear they're now speaking to Roberto De Zerbi as a potential option. I've heard from some underground sources. Roberto De Zerbi is an unbelievable manager. He's a better manager than Graham Potter, in my opinion. I think he's proved that at Brighton, the level of football they play, it's been unbelievable. But is Roberto De Zerbi necessarily a step up? You're Chelsea, man. Like, I think Tottenham should be going for someone like De Zerbi. Tottenham should be going for these project managers, these exciting managers. You're Chelsea Football Club. You got one of the biggest budgets in world football. Sign a top manager. Sign a manager like Enrique. Sign a manager like Ancelotti if you could get him from Real Madrid potentially. Sign a manager like Zidane. Get these top managers in the door that can deal with personalities, that have this aura, this mojo about them. That's who you should be getting. You can't be pairing up an instant success model with 600 million in the bank with a project manager. It makes no sense. You got to pair one with the other. If you're getting a project manager in place, you employ a project system. With that being not a big budget, with that being nurturing and coaching the current crop of players. But no, you're spending a lot of money and you're pairing it with a project manager on his first job in the role. It's not going to work for me. And for Chelsea, bring in a top manager. Lampard's not good. Graham Potter's not good enough. Learn your lesson, man. I believe Enrique's itching for the job. Give him the opportunity, man. Give him the contract. That's just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the live chat. I see a lot of people tuning to the stream right now. Let me know your thoughts, man. I want to hear who you lot believe should be the next manager for Chelsea Football Club, because it should not be Frank Lampard. 100%. Into 2010, great side. Unbelievable side, man. Under Mourinho, top side. Maignan was amazing for Milan, excellent goalkeeper, unbelievable goalkeeper as well. He was injured for a bit as well. This guy's so good, man. So good. He can be the difference. Your goalkeeper's so important. Honestly, when it comes to the big games, the goalkeeper is one of the most important positions. They can save you. And the biggest thing about the goalkeeper, right, is it can instill confidence in the back four on the side. When you see a bad goalkeeper, the whole back four is nervous. Like you see Kepa today. Kepa made some decent saves at times, but Kepa's not an outstanding goalkeeper. I know they spent a lot of money on him from the Spanish league, but he's not an outstanding goalkeeper. And you can see that because the back four get nervous. They don't like passing the ball. They'd rather kick it out play than pass Kepa the ball. On the flip side, you got Courtois, one of the best goalkeepers in world football. They're composed, they're calm. Rodrygo will give him the ball. Alaba, Eder Militao will give Courtois the ball. They're comfortable with that man in possession of the football. They're comfortable that he's going to pull off saves, so they're not forced to make last-ditch challenges. In the last leg, Chilwell got sent off. Why? Because Rodrygo was through, and rather than trusting his goalkeeper Kepa to save a one-on-one, he'd rather bring down Rodrygo and go down to 10 men. That's a lack of faith. Make no mistake about it, if it was the other way around, they'd let Mudryk go through. They'd let Sterling go through because they put their money on Courtois making that big save in that big moment. If it's Alexander-Arnold, if it's Andy Robertson, they let Rodrygo go through because they bank on Alisson potentially making that one-on-one save. That's the difference when you don't have a top-class goalkeeper in the net. You need to trust your goalkeeper. And Chelsea don't. AC Milan, on the other hand, they do. Top goalkeeper Maignan is. Unbelievable. So the way AC Milan, Inter Milan would work is they play at the same stadium and each side would have their home crowd for one match. Yeah, so, okay, quick history lesson. Well, not history lesson. Quick lesson on San Siro, guys, because I literally just had a San Siro stadium tour 2 weeks ago. So in the San Siro, right, the left side is AC Milan and the right side is Inter Milan of the stadium. So pretend the 2 goals are here. And when it's a home game, for Inter Milan, their home stadiums fill out this side of the stadium, and the away fans get a little bit portion there. And then when it's a home game for AC Milan, their home fans fill out that side, and the away fans fill out another portion. So those of you that are like an English fans, you know that the Emirates, Chelsea, etc., there's a designated away spot for the fans. For Chelsea, for example, it's right behind the goal. Like that little portion there in the corner, that's the away fans portion. For AC Milan and Inter Milan get the whole of that stand, basically, and AC Milan get the whole of the other stand. And the away fans basically just fill out the... Whoever's not home, they fill out the other side, if you get what I mean. Yeah, there we go. I literally just went and had the stadium tour at the San Siro 2 weeks ago when I was in Milan. So I learned that. There's also 3 dressing rooms or 4 dressing rooms in Milan in the stadium as well. There's a dressing room for AC Milan, a dressing room for Inter Milan, and an away dressing room. And a dressing room for the referees as well. So there's 4 dressing rooms. The AC Milan dressing room was unbelievable. I loved it. Inter Milan dressing room was a bit nax, I can't lie. I don't think it was that good. AC Milan was miles better. I can see Bayern winning on the night, but not the tie. 3-0, too big a deficit. I agree. Anyone else, let me know your thoughts on who you believe is going through in the Champions League tomorrow. Of course, we'll be covering the games on this channel. 10 p.m. start, of course, depending on if the game goes to extra time or penalties. As soon as the game finishes, why football? You know where to tune in, subscribe, hit the bell notifications so you never miss a stream. Bayern Munich Man City will be the stream, but then, of course, I'll also cover the other match, which will be Inter Milan Benfica as well. I think so, Jeff. It's a mad one. Yeah, absolutely mad. San Siro, AC Milan, Inter Milan semi-final. Unbelievable scenes, Jeff. Couldn't see Man City and Manchester United sharing a stadium here. Well, that's the mentality, right? In England, the mentality isn't to share stadiums. But look, that's what they do in Italy, and fair play, man. I would love to see a Man City versus Man United FA Cup final, Manchester derby. I would as well. That'd be absolutely brilliant. But I bank Brighton to get through, you know. I think Brighton will get past Man United on Sunday. I've got faith in them. Likely, but I think Brighton might win against United. Agree, Tommy. 100% agree. I was keeping an eye on the Wrexham match too. Playing a side down near the bottom, so expected to win, but it was 0-0 at half-time. Final was 3-0. Well, there we go, man. Wrexham are destined to go up to the Football National League, it seems. Sorry, up to League 2, it seems, from the National League. Wrexham 1 win away, 2 to play. They're going to make it, man. Big up Ryan Reynolds and Rob as well. They're going to make it. Yeah, sorry, Lord, my hand slipped, but yeah, that was how much people were in the stream. Yeah, loads, man. Even 61 people right now. If you're new around here, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear it. $500 million being 11th place in the Premier League and out of the Champions League. It's a car crash from Chelsea, man. It's literally, it is evidence, exhibit A, how to waste money in football. And they've been doing it from the start. I've spoken so long about Chelsea. And yeah, I'm going to have another little rant about Chelsea because I appreciate some of you wouldn't have been here when I first spoke about them. So Chelsea fans, feel free to listen. Let me know your thoughts as well in the live chat. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to Chelsea, right? Your transfer strategy has been terrible. It's been, many people have compared it to a scattergun approach. And I'd agree with that, but I'd go even further than that and say it's childish. It's childish approach from Chelsea. You know when you're in school, right, and you saw your classmate pick up had a special crayon or like a special prize, you'd want that prize too. You don't want it because you like the prize. You just want it because your classmate had it. That's what Chelsea are like. They see Arsenal wanting Mudryk. Oh my God, Arsenal want Mudryk. I want Mudryk as well now. They see Enzo Fernandez. Oh my God, one young player of the World Cup, Argentina. I want Enzo Fernandez now. There's no actual understanding behind it. When a team decides to sign a player, more often than not, they've been scouting that player for for years, maybe 2 or 3 transfer windows. They don't just sign a player that window. Enzo Fernandez, they would not have heard about him for the World Cup. I guarantee it, man. He was not on Chelsea's radar. Todd Boehly had not heard of that man. He played for Benfica, he did not have a Scooby. And then suddenly they win the World Cup. Oh, here comes prize for the young player of the World Cup, Enzo Fernandez. Box-to-box midfielder. Let's go sign him. Benfica goes 120 million. They walk off at first. Even they know that's crazy. 120 million for Enzo Fernandez. Real Madrid back off. Barcelona back off. Bayern, Man City, Real Madrid all back off, man. They don't want to spend 120 million on Enzo Fernandez. Oh, push comes to shove towards the end of the transfer window. Here's 120 million. Give us Enzo Fernandez. Has Enzo Fernandez been good? Yeah, he's been good. He's not been 120 million pounds good, though. Make no mistake about it. He's been a decent player at best. Mudryk doesn't fit Chelsea's system. He's not a back five player. Mudryk is a touchline winger just like Martinelli. That is why Arsenal wanted him. That's why my club wanted Mudryk. So they could utilise him as a touchline winger. Chelsea trying to utilise him today as a left wing back when he came off the bench. Makes no sense in that. Or otherwise as like a left forward / centre forward. That's not his game. It's square pegs in round holes for Chelsea, man. You need to stop spending so much money. You need to sign a striker for me in the summer. That's pivotal. Either that or you bring back Lukaku and try to utilise him. Either way, bring in a striker and get cooking again if you're Chelsea, man. New York Rangers in 2 hours, playing game 1 against the Devils. Let's go Rangers. Big up the New York Rangers, man. I'm going to be watching as well. Cavs, Knicks, big up the Cavs in that game, man. Real Madrid made that look so easy. They did. And this is the thing with Real Madrid, man. They're a team that punishes you. Like, I compared the start of the stream, it's like a big brother, little brother thing. Like, they gave the little brother chances. Like, Chelsea had chances in that first half. Like, Real Madrid were leaking chances. I make no mistake about it. If they do the same thing to Man City next week, or in a few weeks' time, Man City could punish Real Madrid, genuinely, because they were giving away chances. But then when push came to shove, when Chelsea was starting to pile up the pressure, Real Madrid had that counter-attacking opportunity, and they were clinical, man. Clinical. Rodrygo making it look easy, man. Stroking both the balls into the back of net, and easy when it looked like for Real Madrid in the end of it, and they deserved it. You're right that the best-selling Brazilian to Europe decides them. Exactly, my friend. Exactly, man. Rodrygo, unbelievable performance, man. Unbelievable. Scoring the goals exactly when it matters. Valverde as well, I thought had a massive monster game in there. Eddie Militao at the back was so good as well. Real Madrid, throughout their team, there's just a perfect balance of youthful exuberance and old leadership. Like, you got Modric and Kroos dominating that midfield. A bit of, like, veteran leadership. Like, the midfield battle, we always talk about how that's so important in football. Win the midfield battle, more often than not, you win the game. And when you've got Modric, when you got Modric and you got Kroos in there, 2 veterans that have been around the block, know exactly what it takes to win Champions League matches. That's so good. And then they give the ball forward to Vinicius and Rodrygo and let the 2 youngsters cook. Let the 2 youngsters, with all their passion, with all their intensity, their youthful exuberance, let them cook and then put it in the middle again to Karim Benzema. That's why they're so good, Real Madrid, man. The spine of their team is got so much experience. Then the rest of the team is filled out with all the youthful exuberance. It's such a good side, man. Such a well-built side. And Ancelotti's an amazing coach as well. It's crazy to think that Palace could actually go above Chelsea in the Premier League in the standings. Crazy, man. Chelsea, negative goal difference after 31 or 32 matches is crazy. And Chelsea still got to play some big teams. They still got to play Man City. They still got to play Arsenal. It's looking like scary times for Chelsea, man. They could sink even further down the table. Is how it is for them right now. Premier League is very competitive, agree. I wouldn't be surprised Chelsea aren't in the Champions League for many years. I think they will turn it around. Genuinely, the only reason why is because they've got too much of a financial backing not to turn it around. It will click eventually. If you spend that much money, I'm hedging my bets on the fact that it will eventually click. For me, it's so simple for Chelsea. Like, it's tougher if you're Tottenham. Like, Tottenham looking for a new manager. For me, they've got to go for a project manager. They've got to identify someone that can instill Tottenham's DNA back into the club. And I think Roberto De Zerbi, I believe the Sporting Lisbon manager, Thomas Frank as potential options, Julian Nagelsmann, that's who it is for Tottenham. They've got a shortlist. For Chelsea, you've got the money available. You're still a massive European club. Just get the best manager available. That's how it is for Chelsea. It's so easy, genuinely. Genuinely, get the best manager available. But they haven't. They're not, man. And they're just literally, they're walking in circles a little bit, it seems. They're probably going to go for another project manager because Todd Boehly is in love with the project, if there's such a word for it, man. Who knows, man? Who knows? I could speak about Chelsea each and every day. There's so many problems wrong with that football club, genuinely. It's seriously difficult to see where Chelsea's next point comes from. It is, but football's a crazy game. Genuinely, football's a very crazy game. I mean, look, West Ham were dead and buried against my club, Arsenal, on the weekend. And they turned that game completely around. I'm telling you this right now, yeah? If Chelsea win a big football match, and they win, and not just win 1-0, if they win a big football match by scoring 3 or 4 goals, their season will turn around. Now, I know it's a bit late, and I say turn around like they're going to make Europe or something, but they'll start to have their confidence back. It just needs to happen. It's the same with my club, Arsenal. Arsenal was struggling. We were not scoring goals. We were conceding for fun. Suddenly, we played Chelsea in a game that everyone's expecting us to get absolutely destroyed in, and we win 3-1. And we score 3 goals early in the match. Saka and Emile Smith are balling out, and suddenly our season gets back on track again. If you're a club like Chelsea, if you're a big club and you're failing to score, confidence is low, you just need one big game where you score a lot of goals, and it will all come back again. Trust me, it will all come back again. But the problem is, you can't see it coming because they're not really scoring many chances whatsoever. I'll be shocked if Benfica comes back tomorrow. I doubt it. Against Inter Milan, I'd be shocked as well, Luke. I really can't see it happening. Don't see it myself. I fancy Benfica, but that first leg was a killer. I as well fancy Benfica as well. My predictions, you lot, yeah? I mean, the video's on my channel. It's earlier on, I believe it was like last week. I made it just before the quarterfinals started. My predictions were Benfica, Man City, Real Madrid, and Napoli to go through. Now, right now, I've got half that right, because I've got Real Madrid right, and I've got, what's it called? And Napoli wrong, sorry. Potentially, I could get Man City right tomorrow, probably I will, and I could get Benfica wrong tomorrow, probably I will. So I'd get 2 out of 4 right. It just goes to show how competitive it is, man. Genuinely, how competitive it is in Champions League. You can't predict anything. Inter Milan couldn't go through. Inter Milan versus AC Milan in the Champions League semi-final. What a semi-final. Cannot wait for it. Benfica can probably come back if it was 1-0, but it's 2-0 now, so it's going to be hard. If they were going back to Portugal in the second leg, I'd give Benfica a chance. But even if Benfica get 1 goal, I still believe the San Siro crowd will rally behind Inter Milan and they'll find a way back in that football match. And Inter Milan are a good counter-attacking team as well. Chelsea crushed AC Milan 3-0 in the group stages. I remember. They were good. AC Milan, I remember watching that game. AC Milan were terrible in the group stages. Genuinely terrible. Like, I was watching them at Chelsea and they had like maybe 10 minutes, but after that they fell apart. So I was thinking look, AC Milan aren't going far at all in this competition. To be fair, neither did Inter Milan would either. They got Tottenham in the next round, and thankfully for them, Tottenham were in disarray. Then, of course, they've got Napoli, and I thought that'd be a very tough draw for them, but they done really well in that leg as well, in both legs. I know Osimhen was missing for the first leg, but fair play to AC Milan. They played really well, man, and they're now in the Champions League semi-final. Who would have thought? If Villa makes a Champions League, then I think they will make it to round 16. Ollie Watkins is very, very good. I'd love to see Aston Villa make the Champions League places. I'd love to. And look, they've got the momentum right now. I recently reviewed Aston Villa Newcastle on my channel where they won 3-0. And they were really good that day. They definitely could make it. I don't see it happening though. Genuinely, I don't. But Europa League, I think that's a real possibility for Aston Villa. And I think it'd be a really good step up for them. Aston Villa are a historic football club. Genuinely a very historic football club. They deserve to be in European football. They're that good. I mean, of course, nothing's taken for granted. Just because you deserve to be there doesn't mean you necessarily will get it. But Aston Villa are a massive football club. And they should get Champions League football, not Champions League football, should get European football in some capacity. Whether it's Europa League, Conference League or Champions League, they need to get it, man. And they played so well, they deserve under Unai Emery, who's done a brilliant job. Are you AC over Inter? I mean, I don't really support teams from abroad, really. I only support Arsenal. But between the two, I am AC Milan over Inter Milan. Why? I just prefer them. And I prefer Rafael Leao. He's my favourite player alongside Kvara and AC Milan are my favourite players in the Italian league. So, yes, I guess I am AC Milan over Inter Milan. Agreed. Villa won the Champions League back in 1981, European Cup back then. They're a massive historic club, Aston Villa. Let's not forget that, man. Massive, massive club, and they need to get back to their roots, of winning big competitions and being involved year in year out in the European competitions, just like Forest were as well. Forest were a massive club back in the day as well. A lot of people won't remember. It's definitely before my time, and probably a lot before the time of a lot of people in the stream as well. But they're massive football clubs. And look, the Champions League is here to stay, man. It's here to stay. And I've made this point before. I said that the Premier League should honestly have 5 Champions League spots because they're that good. Genuinely, 10th place in the Premier League will beat a lot of the teams in the Champions League. Like the group stages, genuinely. Like, you look at the Premier League and it's stacked, man. Like, you got the big 6, of course. You've then got Newcastle, who are good. Brighton, who look very good. Aston Villa, who look very good. That's 9 Premier League teams who look genuinely very good. So, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, oh my days, like, a lot of these Premier League teams deserve to be potentially be in Champions League football. Like, compare them to some of the other teams in Champions League. And you're thinking, they could walk all over these teams, especially in the group stage. So, yeah, it just goes to show how stacked the Premier League is. It literally is a super league, if there is such a thing. Before my time, also, I've studied the history books, though. Well, there we go. There we go, man. Before your time, but look, the football fans don't forget traditions, man. Trust me. Nottingham Forest fans remember what their club was like back in the day, same as Aston Villa fans, well. It's 5 in a new format, I think, and deservedly so. Deservedly so. But let's revert back to the Chelsea Real Madrid game, because I think there's a lot of lessons we learned here, took away from this game. First of all, I think everyone was expecting Real Madrid to go through. I think the scary thing for Chelsea is it's not a surprise. Not a surprise one bit. I'm not necessarily expecting Chelsea to go through today. I wasn't. I don't think anyone was. But what I saw from Chelsea again today, it encapsulated their whole season. Their season is over now, officially over. And many people thought it was over already. And I said, look, it's not over because they've still got Champions League. Did I expect them to go through? Absolutely not. But Chelsea are good in Europe. They've already won 2 Champions Leagues. And the season they won it under their first time under Di Matteo, they were like 10th in the Premier League. So anything can happen. But I'm looking at it, and exactly what I've expected from Chelsea, exactly what I've spoken about Chelsea throughout the whole season, came to fruition today. They don't score goals. They don't. Genuinely, they don't score goals. Like, the chances are there. Through the middle of the park, from defence to attack, the transitions are really good. The ball switched really well. They're getting the ball out wide to Reece James, to Cucurella. The balls are coming in the box. They're overloading the far post with the wing backs. But they're not scoring goals. They're not creating chances. And the more you're watching, the more you're thinking, are they going to convert a chance? They're going to convert a chance. Because I honestly think if Chelsea got one goal back, with Stamford Bridge on their side, with the home crowd gunning them on, they could have maybe got back in the tie, honestly, and maybe took it to extra time or something. But they didn't. And you're just waiting and you're just waiting. You saw Real Madrid be like that sleeping beast, like a dormant volcano, just lumbering around, just waiting. And then as soon as they got their chance, there we go, man. They took advantage. That's Real Madrid in a nutshell, man. Punish them. They're like a sleeping giant. Just dormant volcano. Waiting. As soon as they see a slight weakness in Chelsea, bang. They take advantage. That's Real Madrid in a nutshell, man. Encapsulated both sides. Both sides, literally, that game, that 90 minutes, showcased both sides in a nutshell. Real Madrid, not amazing throughout the whole game, but blitzed Chelsea. And Chelsea tried their hardest, huffed and puffed, but toothless, man. Toothless tigers. I thought Madrid had a poor game by their standards, agree. And Benzema was fairly quiet, agree. But professional job done by Madrid. Exactly, professional job done, man. Modric and Kroos knew exactly what the doctor ordered for them. They keep the ball ticking round. They keep themselves in the game. They don't concede any silly chances. They gave Chelsea chances, but they made sure to defend the box well. Courtois came in use at times. Your goalkeeper does in big games. And when it was called upon, they were scoring. And the thing was, even if Chelsea got a goal, I still would have banked on Madrid getting one back, because Madrid always have that quality up front with Benzema, with Vinicius Jr., with Rodrygo doing the damage today. Someone's going to get the chances and someone's going to score. Now, out of the three of them, I would have expected Benzema and Vinicius to get the goals. But look, Rodrygo will be there, of course, and he got them today, man. Unbelievable goals as well. So composed his finishing, man. Both of them in front of the goal, right place, right time, dispatching it. So good. The UEFA Champions League record is scary. 11 out of the last 13 semi-finals. They're that good, man. This is their competition. Genuinely. And I believe that when you've got it deep rooted in your system, when it's in your DNA of your football club, that you're a Champions League team, you've got that extra confidence about you. And you will make it far. It's literally like, it's the opposite of a vicious cycle. It's a positive cycle, if they call it. When you've won the Champions League so many times, when you've reached so far in the Champions League, you walk onto that pitch knowing it's your competition. It's a home game for you, genuinely, when you play Champions League as Real Madrid. Because it's yours to lose. Like, the team are trying to take the Champions League off you. That's their mentality. And when you've got that mentality about you, you're very hard to beat. Genuinely very hard to beat. I can't wait for next round. I believe it will be Man City, Real Madrid. And I think it'll be a tasty tie, man. Very tasty. You look at it and you're thinking, Man City, for me, they're my picks to win that tie. Man City, Real Madrid, I believe Man City will get to the Champions League final. And I believe Man City will win the Champions League. But will you ever count out Real Madrid? You can't, man. You can never count out a team like Real Madrid. They're literally that good. Genuinely, like, they're that good, man. They're a team that you can never, ever take for granted. They will turn up when it matters most. Needed Chelsea to score first in the neutral. You did, man. And I probably was egging on Chelsea to score just because I was being a neutral in this game. But yeah, they look toothless, man. Like, they infuriated me. Smelly finishing. I believe in a heritage thing, bro. There we go, man. There we go. And look, maybe the fact that we believe in it adds fuel to the fire that there is such a thing, because it's like the case where it's like conspiracy theories, right? A conspiracy theory only exists because you had fuel to the fire, because people agree with it, because people back the claims. If no one backs it, there's no such thing as a conspiracy theory, because it doesn't exist. No one's got any credibility. No one's got any backing behind it. But when there's people like me, when there's people like Tommy as well, that genuinely believe there's a mentality thing, there's a heritage thing with Real Madrid in the Champions League, it just adds fuel to it. It just adds to the impact that Real Madrid are that team. Even if Real Madrid are 17th in La Liga, I put them as favourites in the Champions League tie because they're Real Madrid. If you look at Man City this season, if you look at the way they played dispatch Bayern Munich, the way Haaland's been firing, the way De Bruyne's back in form, the way Pep Guardiola's got his system so good right now, you'd be a madman to predict they wouldn't get through to the final of the Champions League and win it. They'd be your favourites by every metric in football. Yet, because they're coming up against a side in Real Madrid who are that good, there's still people that say, I expect Real Madrid to go through to the final. And honestly, I will not discredit their opinion one bit for saying that. My pick is Man City, but can I sit here and confidently say I believe Man City are going to go through? No, because Real Madrid are that team. Real Madrid are that good. This is their competition. But look, anything can happen in football. Who makes the final from the other half? AC Milan for me, which is what you agree with, yeah. AC Milan, Inter Milan will be brilliant. Of course, I'll be covering that game as well on my channel. But yeah, I believe AC Milan will get through between the two teams there. I just think they're slightly ahead of Inter Milan. Anyone else just join the chat right now, make sure you subscribe as well if you're new around here to the stream. Keep letting me know your football opinions. Bring anything to it, any game, the Napoli AC Milan game, or the Chelsea Real Madrid game. Happy to talk about either. I was mainly watching the Chelsea Real Madrid game, but of course I kept up to date with the Napoli AC Milan one. Napoli scored in the last minute through Osimhen, but it was not enough. AC Milan going through in what was a professional job done away from home as well. They really had their big players turn up big time. Rafael Leao, Magnon as well. Big performances from both. Man City haven't won it either. Man City have never won the Champions League. Never won the Champions League in their lifetime. I believe it will change this season. But that's the thing, right? When it's Man City versus Real Madrid, it is a case of the better team versus tradition. Like, what's going to win? Is it going to be the experience in the competition? Is it going to be the heritage, the aura, the mojo? Or is it going to be the better team on paper? That's what you got to ask yourself. That's what you got to weigh it up. I think the only way Man City get through against Real Madrid is if they do what I believe they will do, and that is deal with them how they dealt with Bayern Munich, which is dispatch it. Because make no mistake about it, if it's a tight game, if it's a 1-goal lead with 10-15 minutes left, I put my money on Real Madrid getting through. Because they will know how to turn up in 10-15 minutes left. If it's a 3-goal lead with 10 minutes left, that's the only time I think Man City can go through. Now, make no mistake about it. Last season, it was a 2-goal lead. They still managed to throw it away in the final 5 minutes to Rodrygo scoring 2 stoppage time goals. So anything can happen. But if it's a tight game, my money's on Real Madrid. So Man City, they got to dispatch this game. They got to kill teams. And that's one thing I've given Man City credit for. Because I look at Arsenal, I look at even Manchester United, and these teams don't kill off their opponents. I mean, Man United against Sevilla, they didn't kill off the team, man. Like, they were 2-0 up. They had Sevilla on the ropes. Sevilla, I mean, we talk about Real Madrid being Champions League. This is their competition. Sevilla's competition is the Europa League. You got to kill them. United didn't. Sevilla got 2 goals, even though they were playing rubbish that day, and bring it back to 2-2. Now going to the second leg in Sevilla, where they're probably favourites now. You got to look at Man City. Man City need to kill Real Madrid. If Real Madrid give chances, they give Chelsea today to Man City in that first leg, kill that game, bro. Even if it's 2-0, 3-0, it's not enough. Kill it. Kill Real Madrid. Don't give them a sniff. Because if you give them not a sniff, even if you leave the door slightly ajar, you leave the narrowest of openings for that door, Real Madrid will kick that door open and find a way to win that football match. Trust me. So if you're Man City, you got to kill it, man. You got to smell blood. Because Real Madrid will give you chances and you will have a chance, as you did last season, to win that game. You got to put them to bed. You have to. That's how I'm thinking about it if I'm Man City. I agree though, if they beat Madrid, they win it. Whoever wins that side, I believe they win the Champions League. Whether it's Man City, whether it's Real Madrid, whoever wins, or Bayern Munich even. Let's not discredit Bayern Munich, that's disrespectful for me, but I do expect Man City to go through. Whoever wins from that side of the draw is win the Champions League in my opinion. How likely is a treble for City? Very likely. Genuinely very likely. And the funniest thing is, right, every season people talk about the treble or quadruple with Man City. This season no one spoke about it until now, and arguably they're in the best position to do it. In the Champions League semi-final, potentially, they're on the borderline of a Champions League semi-final. They're favourites to win the Premier League, according to Opta, against my club Arsenal. And then a semi-final against in the FA Cup playing against Sheffield United. Like, Man City genuinely can win the treble this season. They can. It'd be terrible for opposition fan bases, but it can happen. It genuinely can happen. It's up to them to keep their foot on the gas, to keep going, and try and win as many matches as possible. Because the pressure's building, and they will find some tough games. But the good thing about Man City is they've hit momentum at the right time. It's funny, bro. Pep Guardiola, this brother's been experimenting for 70% of the season. Playing Ruco Lewis, playing Bernardo Silva left back. And he's still in a title race. Tell me any other manager that would not have their system sorted for 70% of the system, 70% of the season, not have their first 11 patterned, not have their formation sorted, yet still be in a title race. That's the luxury that he has, man, Pep Guardiola, being one of the top managers and having one of the top squads in Europe. And now he's got into the running now, and he's got into the finals of all the competitions, basically. And now he's got his system sorted, he's got his players sorted, he's got all the players back from injury. Everything's clicking at the right time. And what do I always say, man? At this stage of the season, it's less about points, it's less about quality, it's all about momentum. And City's momentum right now is very good. Genuinely very good, man. They're like an avalanche, outpouring on the other team. So if you're looking at it, you're thinking they've got a very good chance, genuinely a very good chance of potentially winning the treble this season. I'd hate to see it happen. And look, if they win the Champions League and FA Cup, so be it. But please just give Arsenal the Premier League, man. I'm begging. I've never won the Premier League in my lifetime, man. Make it happen. The quad is the ultimate how close Liverpool were. Yeah, they were so close as well, man. So close. No team's ever won the quadruple. Manchester United have won the treble in 99, I believe. 1999. And look, even when they won the treble, they got some luck along the way. Football's about luck. No matter how good you are, you can get some luck, man. So it's got to bounce your way one way or another. Who knows? Saka's missed penalty against West Ham, giving West Ham a point, making Arsenal drop 2 points. That could be the luck that City needed to win the Premier League. Luck does happen, man. Genuinely, it does in football. No matter how good you are, you need a little bit of luck on the way. And Man City are getting that at times. If City do the treble, it's Manchester heritage. It is indeed, man. 1999 for United and 2023 for Man City. It can happen, man. It can happen. 23 is my lucky number, though. So Arsenal, you got to do something on my lucky year, man. Come on, Arsenal, bro. You got to win this Premier League. Speaking of which, my next reaction for Arsenal will be on 10 p.m. Friday. soon as the match finished between Arsenal and Southampton, I'm hoping a bounce back for Arsenal, man. I'm bloody hoping so. The 99 UEFA Champions League final was lucky. Couldn't believe what I was watching. Bayern dominated and they threw it away in the last few minutes. Literally, I believe it was, wasn't it Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that scored in the last second for Manchester United? That's what I'm talking about. That's the luck you need sometimes. And make no mistake about it. Gary Neville spoke about it. Sir Alex Ferguson spoke about it in previous podcasts and channels as well. You have to take some risks as well when you're in the treble. When you're in all three competitions, you got to take some risks. So in a Premier League game, they had to rotate. They may have to leave out Haaland, De Bruyne, etc. in a Premier League game to make sure that they can have that players fit for a Champions League match. It can happen. I mean, we saw on the weekend when they played Leicester City, Man City, right? They dominated that game. But as soon as they took off their killers, as soon as they took off Rodri, as soon as they took off Haaland, De Bruyne, etc., Leicester had the route back into that game. And if you look at the end of that match, the XG, it was actually Leicester City who won on XG. If Maddison scores his chance, if Iheanacho scores his chance, Leicester could get a point there. So it just goes to show that, although Man City have got unbelievable squad depth, and I agree they have got so, they've still got some players in there that are irreplaceable. Rodri is irreplaceable in that Man City side. The work he does at CDM, no one near him. Fernandinho was the second best, but he's gone now. You look at Haaland. Alvarez is a great option, but will Haaland bring the same goals? Sorry, will Alvarez bring the same goals that Haaland does? That's a whole other thing you got to ask yourself about as well. Sheringham and Solskjaer. There we go, man. Teddy Sheringham, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. 92nd, 94th minute. Absolutely crazy, man. Hello, C1. Welcome, my friend. What do you think about Chelsea? I spoke at length about you lot. Struggling again, man. Epitomised the whole of Chelsea's season. Failing to score goals. Failing to score goals by all accounts. Looked toothless up front. Literally just... It was literally case in point Chelsea's whole season. This game right here. Terrible, man. Let me know your thoughts. Any other Chelsea fans as well? Let me know in the live chat your thoughts of the game. Arsenal have to beat Southampton. I mean, they can't fail to win, can they? I mean, I look in and I think this is a perfect bounce back game, right? It's got to be. Got to be the perfect bounce back game. Southampton, bottom of the table. They're failing to score any goals. If you're Arsenal, you got to bounce back against Southampton. That's just at least my thoughts on it. Welcome to the chat, Hardy. Thank you for tuning in, my friend. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. Bro, my team is Bayern Munich. We went to win. You did. When you played the... Look. Okay, look. Funny story, yeah? I went up to Manchester on the day Man City played Bayern Munich, and I went up in my Bayern Munich shirt because I genuinely forgot the game was on Tuesday. I thought last week Tuesday was Real Madrid versus Chelsea, and the Wednesday game was Man City versus Bayern Munich. So I went up in my Bayern Munich shirt, right? Up the train from London to Manchester, and there was Bayern Munich fans on there as well, and they were talking to me, and they were saying that they were confident, and that's the aura that Bayern Munich have. They're always confident going into all matches. And I said to them, I said, look, be careful. All you got to do, yeah, is go back to the Allianz with the game not out of sight. If you lose 1-0, so be it. Just don't lose the tie in the first leg. Because in the Allianz, with your home form behind you, with Man City who are prone to crumble in the Champions League, you can get a result. Just don't go into that game back in the Allianz losing badly. And what they do, they threw it away, man. Like you said, El Hadi, nail on your head. You went to the Etihad to win, which is fair play. I commend any team that goes away from home to win the match. But at 1-0 down, you got to take your foot off the gas a little bit. Don't try and play that game like it's a one-leg final. You know that you've got the Allianz in the bank. No, you've got the second leg in the bank. You should have gone there with a maximum 2-0 loss. Maximum. But you didn't. And 3-0 was the killer blow. As I said, I'm reviewing the match tomorrow. Bayern Munich versus Man City on my channel. 10 p.m. the stream will start. Of course, depending on if it goes extra time and penalties. Who knows? But you got to look and you think, if you get the first goal early, the crowd will be on your side. Man City might crumble. You never know. But 3-0 is a steep deficit to overcome. It can happen. Stranger things have happened. We've seen Liverpool beat Barcelona 4-0 at Anfield. Roma beat Barcelona, etc. Barcelona beat PSG. It can happen in the Champions League, but it'll be very, very tough. But who knows, man? Who knows? I can't wait for it. Big up Bayern indeed, man. I love that football club. Would be one of the greatest comebacks. It genuinely would. And it would be a nail in the heart of Man City. It can happen. Genuinely, Bayern Munich are that club. Bayern Munich have a little thing in Europe, man. Bayern Munich's mentality, I respect them so much. And bear in mind, I'm an Arsenal fan, so I'm used to getting walloped by Bayern season in, season out, losing 10-2 on aggregate and stuff like that. Bayern are killers. You know how I talk about all the time on my live chats, all the time on my stream, saying, you need killer mentality in football. Where's that assassin mentality? Where's your killer instinct to finish off a team? That was Bayern Munich in a nutshell. Bayern Munich were perfect. Like, if there was ever a team that I would say they're the definition of killers, that's Bayern Munich. I'd watch them in Champions League and they kill teams off. Arsenal, no mercy. The game was over at 2-1, 3-1, but they kill it, man. 4-1, 5-1. No mercy to the opposition. That was Bayern Munich in a nutshell. Now, the thing is, Man City showed them no mercy in the first leg. As Bayern Munich, are you going to go back into that game and try and win that football match 3-4-0? That's what we got to try and do, man. So you've got to get that goal early and go from there if you're Bayern Munich, man. That's my thoughts on it. 3-0 leads in UEFA Champions League matches is 1.5 feet in the next round. It is, and look, I always say the difference between 2-0 and 3-0 is gigantic. It's enormous. Because 2-0, the game's still in the balance, as we saw from my club, Arsenal. But at 3-0, it's just that extra goal, man. It's just because at 3-0, you're thinking, they got to get one. Even at 1, it's not close anymore. They got to get another goal, and then it's getting close. But by then, they might run out of steam, etc. So that third goal is always a killer, man. Always a killer. My favourite German team is Borussia Mönchengladbach. I just love them a name. They were a great side in the 70s. Big up Borussia Mönchengladbach, man. That's where Granit Xhaka came from. I haven't got a favourite. To be fair, I don't have any favourite teams from other countries. I think my favourite Spanish team is probably Real Madrid. Just because I love Real Madrid, man. They're killers. My favourite German team is probably Borussia Dortmund. Just because I've always liked Dortmund. Especially under Klopp, I like them. And my favourite Italian team, I guess, is AC Milan. If we're calling it like that. And my favourite French team, I ain't got one. I don't really watch the French league, to be completely honest. But yeah, there we go. But look, Bayern Munich got life. Look, if 3-0 is a tough deficit to overcome. But look, anything can happen. Anything can happen in the Champions League. Make no mistake about it. Would they want to be in this position? Absolutely not. I think 1-0 or 2-0 would have been better. We obviously saw all the disputes that happened with all the Sadio Mane and the, what's his name? Leroy Sané dispute and Mane punching Sané. So it's looking a bit pear-shaped for Bayern Munich. But look, in that first leg, I saw enough evidence that they can get chances. At home, your home crowd behind you. I saw the way they dispatched PSG. I'm expecting more from Bayern Munich. They get a goal early. They go into half-time 1-0 up at least. And they've got a chance. Bayern Munich, they've got a chance. Who knows, man? Man City can crumble. Man City, they're an amazing football club, but they haven't got the DNA in the Champions League that Bayern Munich or Real Madrid got. They haven't. Case in point, they have not got it. So, it can happen, bro. It can happen. You just got to keep at it. Keep to your game plan. Get a goal early. And you'll get goals. The thing is, got to be assured at the back as well. Don't throw too much at it because Man City on the counter-attack are dangerous. Haaland's one of the most dangerous players in the counter-attack. Genuinely. He'd actually suit a counter-attacking game more than a possession-style game because Haaland on the counter-attack is devastating. When you literally unleash his pace and unleash his forward runs, it's a long day for you. I think you'd rather play Man City in a possession-style game because then Man City will try and play through you and that's when you can defend Haaland better. When you're trying to defend Haaland and your line is so high and he's running in behind, it's a dangerous game. It's suicidal by all accounts. So Bayern Munich got to look to get a goal, but don't leave yourself too open at the back because if Man City score, then it becomes really cat and mouse game, man. Really becomes an upwards battle if it isn't already. Ajax, my favourite Dutch team. Yeah, I'd say so as well. I don't really have favourites in the Dutch league. I mean, PSV maybe, I don't know. Not like I support it, but I respect the heritage of so many European clubs. That's one thing I agree about as well. I respect big European clubs. Like Ajax especially, is that I was willing them on to win the Champions League in 2019, man. So close. And the fact Tottenham, my rivals, knocked them out, man. Just, it was like a dagger through the heart, that one. But it's one of those things, man. But there we go. Yeah, reaching towards the end of the stream. I'm streaming for about an hour or so right now. Let's recap the Chelsea Real Madrid match before I leave it. And of course, make no mistake about it, my next stream will be tomorrow to do exactly the Bayern Munich versus Man City reaction, as well as, of course, Inter Milan Benfica. So make no mistake about it. If you've got any questions, make sure to let me know tomorrow as well regarding both matches. Subscribe if you're new around here. In terms of the game today, it epitomised everything we've seen about both sides. I'm hoping Bayern get the first goal. Me too, man. Just as a neutral. I was hoping Chelsea scored today, man. I'm not even a Chelsea fan, but just to make the game more interesting as a neutral, man. That's what I was hoping for. It didn't end up happening, but look, that's the way the cookie crumbles. That's how it goes. As a neutral, we want a match. Exactly. I'd love Bayern Munich to get that first goal. Even I want Bayern Munich to get a first goal just to wear Man City out a little bit. Because I don't want Man City to just be in cruise control this whole game. Man. It's a Champions League quarter-final. I want it to be competitive, man. I want it to be competitive. Real Madrid killers is how I'd sum it up. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, 2 killers, man. Throughout history, been killers in the Champions League. They know what it takes to win football matches, man. Winners mentality, assassins. They are like those teams that you don't want to leave them breathing. You don't want to leave either of those teams with even a sniff or a potential of coming back into the football match. If you're going to kill those teams, kill them for dead. Kill them for dead and check their pulse afterwards. Don't even give them a hope of coming back in a football match. Because even if the door's slightly ajar, they will find a way to win that football match, man. Trust me, they will. Those are good football teams, as we saw today. So yeah, Chelsea came into this game against Real Madrid 2-0 down on aggregate with an uphill task. But they're at Stamford Bridge. They've got the home fan base behind them. Could they make a comeback? They tried. They huffed and puffed in the first half. They had an assortment of good chances. Cucurella having the pick of the bunch, lying on his left peg to try and stroke it home, but saved by Courtois. Then the second half, they kept pushing. Kante having a good chance as well. But then Real Madrid, as they always do, soak up pressure. defend well, defend astutely, but then they got their big killers in the game. Rodrygo scoring the first goal after a brilliant run. He then puts it on the plate for Vinicius Jr. exactly in the same position as Cucurella, doesn't snatch his chance, lays it back across goal for Rodrygo to stroke it home. And that was 1-0 Real Madrid. At that point, many thought the tie was over, myself included. But to really put the nail in the coffin, Real Madrid made it 2-0. This was another brilliant goal. Della off the bench with a decoy run through to Vinicius Jr. on a plate to Rodrygo. Can score first time, but doesn't, walks into the back of net basically. And that gave Real Madrid the 2-0 win. 4-0 on aggregate. Thoroughly deserved and dispatched Chelsea, put them to the sword, and officially ends any chance of silverware for Chelsea this season in what has been a season to forget for the Chelsea fans as they hope to turn it around under new owner Todd Boehly. I do remember once upon a time Arsenal won at the Bernabeu. Thierry Henry, you're right, man. What a performance. Might have been the year they made it to the final in 2006. I believe it was indeed. Yellow kit at the Bernabeu, won 1-0. Brilliant performance as well, man. Thierry Henry, he made one run at the end of the game where he just ran past all of them and then just held the ball in the corner flag. It was heritage, man. What a performance. What a performance. I love watching Vinicius Jr. Exciting player, in my opinion. The left wing market is so good. It's so stacked. I was making this point. Vinicius, Martinelli, you've got, what's his name? Kvara, Rafael Leao. You've got Mitoma. The left wing market is stacked, man. Genuinely so good. Like, you look at the right wing market, it's not as good, man. The right wing market is, I'd say, it's poor by all metrics. It's poor. There's so many good left wings available out there, man. So I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, raw, like genuinely, left wing market is so good. And Vinicius again, what an exciting player. Let's see how Man City deal with them. But in my opinion, look, when Man City come to play Real Madrid as I expect them to do so, they will have that flat back four. They will have the 4 centre backs in there, Akanji, Ake, etc. Stones that are adept at dealing with fast players. That have got the physicality I expect. So look, it'll be a crazy exciting game. I cannot wait for it. Of course, I'll be covering it on this channel. The Champions League throughout, from the quarterfinals now to the final on June the 10th. I will be here to cover all Champions League matches as one of my favourite competitions. It's European powerhouse competition, man. It's the epitome of European football. It's literally the best of the best when it comes to European football. But yeah, that's been my reaction to Chelsea losing 2-0 to Real Madrid on aggregate 4-0. Napoli, equally, they crashed out the Champions League, one of the favourites as well, to Napoli drawing 1-1 on the night, but losing 2-1 on aggregate. It now sets up a potential semi-final, which includes Real Madrid and AC Milan in there. Tomorrow, I, of course, will be reacting to both. Bayern Munich vs Man City is my primary game, but also, of course, we'll touch upon Inter Milan vs Benfica as well. We'll be reacting to both matches as soon as the games are done. Here on MyFootball, 10 PM the stream will commence. Of course, depending on whether the games go to extra time penalties, the stream will be delayed. But that's the time I'm planning for it to start. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Let me know your thoughts on the live chat as well. I appreciate everyone that lets me know their thoughts. Nice one, bro. I love the Champions League, myself included as well. I hope to see you all in my next stream. I appreciate everyone that tuned in today, left your thoughts, liked, and subscribed as always. I hope to see you all in my next one, which will be tomorrow. Check out my community tab as well if you want to see my streaming schedule throughout the whole week. I'm MyFootball and hope to see you all in my next one. Take care.